Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. Today we'll be going over my NFC top 10 team rankings. It's going to be fun, a lot of surprises, and a lot of things to go over. So let's get right into it. Let's make this video quick and easy. The first team is a no-brainer. The Eagles. They're the defending NFC champions. Best team in the NFC. They had a great offseason. They kept all their guys. Kept Kelsey one more year. Cox, Bradbury, Slay. They got all those guys back. And then they had a phenomenal draft. They got Carter, Noah Smith, Sidney Brown. Didn't trade that much, but they got all the guys they needed. And then they're the team to beat. They're the team. Excuse me. They're the team to beat in the NFC. Then the Cowboys. Cowboys are ranked number 2 for me. Probably a surprise for everybody right here. But they're ranked number 2. They traded for Brandon Cooks. They got Gilmore. Brandon Cooks has been injured throughout his career. Can he stay healthy for the Cowboys? Gilmore, he's been in the league for a while. Is this the year he gets slower? Big question right there. And then for the draft, they got counters for the Eagles. They got Smith from Michigan, who's a run-stuffing guy, a nose tackle who's going to stop the run from the inside. And that's what the Eagles did the best last season, was run up the gut. And they got, what's the name, Smith from Michigan to stop that. And they got Overshawn from Texas to have that spy on Jalen Hurts. And they got a position of need from, what's his name? Skullmaker, I think his name is, from Michigan, tight end, because on Delta Shots he left a free agent. So they got counters against the Eagles, and they got positions of need in the draft. But the negative here is that they still have Dak. Dak Prescott has been the Achilles heel for the Cowboys for years and years and years. I said it since his sophomore year, which you can argue that was his best season as a Cowboy. I said that they would never win a Super Bowl as long as he is the quarterback of the team, and he has been proving me right the whole time. He led the league last year in interceptions, and he legit didn't play like 6 games of the regular season, and he still led the league in interceptions. That tells you a lot right there. And he does have a new offensive coordinator, by the way, as well. So, it's Mike McCarthy, I guess you could say. But Seattle Seahawks are my number 3 team. They brought back a lot of their former teammates or employees, I guess. Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams. Both are coming back this season. Bobby Wagner is re-signing. He was on the Rams last season, playing in LA. Now he comes back to Seattle. And then Jamal Adams, who's been, MIA for a majority of his career in Seattle. This year should be his best year, though. He has a phenomenal, talent around him now. When he signed that contract with the Seahawks, he didn't really have that. It was literally Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner. That was it. But now it's Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, and a bunch of other young guys. And then they had a phenomenal draft this season. They drafted Witherspoon, who I believe is a perfect fit for the Seattle Seahawks defense. And they got Jackson Smith-Njigba, phenomenal receiver, got that slot receiver. Nowadays you need 3 receivers in the NFL. You want to keep I don't know. I think it's just a need. You need to have 3 receivers, 3 legit receivers, and the Seahawks got that now. Now, the big question is, can Geno Smith do it in the playoffs? Niners versus Seahawks. The Seahawks were in that game the whole time. Geno Smith just wasn't able to do anything. The Niners were stopping the run, and that's what the Seahawks like to do. They stop the run. They're forcing Geno Smith to make plays. He was unable to do that, but this is his second year under Pete Carroll as a starter. He last year was legit his first season starting over like 5 years or something, I mean, even more. So he essentially was a veteran rookie, but will he improve and can he do it? He's got more offensive weapons. They got him some protection on the offensive line, and he has superstar running backs in the backfield. So this will be all on Geno Smith to be able to make those plays in the fourth quarter or third down pickups and stuff like that. And that's really it for the Seattle Seahawks. Niners are number 4. Everybody probably has them at number 2, which I would agree at. The talent of the Niners defense is phenomenal, but we'll go over why I have them at number 4. They added inside pressure from Hargrave. Again, this guy gets inside pressure. He gets inside pressure. He could stop the run a little bit, but he's really known for the inside pressure. He's going to take pressure off of Nick Bosa, who receives double and triple teams and stuff like that. So Nick Bosa's going to have an easier job this upcoming season because of Hargrave. And then they filled the positions in the draft. Positions that they were a little lacking in. They filled those gaps in the draft. And they still snuck away with a bunch of talented receivers. Not talented receivers, talented players. The only question, and this is why they're number 4, is the quarterback position. I'm not talking about Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy is my guy. I've been with him since college. I knew he was going to be a stud. But Brock Purdy, he needs to take his time. He needs to get 100% healthy before he gets back into action. And the injury that he's dealing with, many quarterbacks don't come back and play the same. And then for baseball, most pitchers take a year and a half to become available to their team. And Brock Purdy, he's literally, half? I don't know how many months, but it's been a while since he's been, recovering process. But he needs to be 100% in order to come back, in my opinion. Because if you, speed up his process or force him to play and stuff like that, it's just not going to be good for him as a player and for the franchise. And you still have Trey Lance. You still need to evaluate him in a way, or he could up his stock and possibly trade him. But yeah, you still have Trey Lance. Sam Darnold's on the team. He's the closest you could get to Brock Purdy, I guess you could say, but probably a poor man's Brock Purdy. But the team in a whole is talented enough to win you games without Brock Purdy, so I wouldn't play him until he's 100% ready and he's really comfortable with throwing the ball, on all that stuff, That's what I would do personally, but who knows what they would do. I would not rush him. Let Trey Lance play. Evaluate him, and your team's good enough to win games either way. Number 5, I have the Vikings. The Vikings got Byron Murphy and Davenport. So Davenport's going to be a phenomenal duo with Hunter. And they still have Smith, but Smith isn't an every down guy nowadays. And Byron Murphy, he's a playmaking corner. He'll get turnovers for you. And then they drafted Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison could be the best receiver in this year's draft. And he'll be a phenomenal duo with Justin Jefferson. Love that. I just can't wait to see those two guys take the field together. Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. It's going to be phenomenal to watch. But can that defense hold up their side of the bargain? Can they stop other teams from scoring touchdowns and all that stuff? The team is built pretty nice. You got Kirk Cousins. Cook, I'm pretty sure, is going to stay. And even though they're saying they're going to cut him, I think he's there to stay. Jordan Addison, the defense got better. So, yeah, I think the Vikings are going to be pretty competitive in a whole. And then number 6, I have the Saints. The Saints, they got Derek Carr in free agency, Jamal Williams as well. And they added a lot of defensive pieces in the draft. I wish they would have got I wish they would have added another receiver. They didn't do that. They got a lot of defensive players. And they got Miller because Kamara, he's most likely going to get suspended. And probably put behind bars, to be honest. But you never know. He might have that fame privilege where you have a lot of, but he has a lot of evidence against him, so it's not looking too great for Kamara. But they got, his backup. And then the real question is Michael Thomas going to play? And is he going to even be close to what he was in the draft? Or not in the draft. Close to what he was before he signed that contract. That big contract that he signed. And yeah, I wish the Saints would have got one more receiver, but they didn't. That's my only issue with the team. And obviously Michael Thomas. The Lions at number 7. The Lions, they're building a phenomenal culture over there. They added Montgomery from the Bears, phenomenal running back. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is a legit safety. And then the draft class that they had got a lot of talent, a lot of legit key pieces for the future of this franchise. And yeah, they're going to be pretty entertaining. They're on the rise. The Lions are legit on the rise right now, bro. Not saying they're going to be... They should make playoffs, I'm going to be honest. They should make playoffs. Jared Goff, he's not going to win you. Like, he just needs to play good, like how he has the past season. He just needs to play at a high level, Jared Goff. And they have legit pieces on offensive line on offense as well. I put stay healthy, but I think that's for every team, So that's on me. What they need, the negative for them is that they are still young. Again, they're on the early stages of rebuilding, but they do have key pieces, for the future. They got Hooker as well, which would be a legend from Jared Goff. Love to fit. A bunch of other young players, so they're super young still. And that's the only negative for them. Number 8, Washington. They added offensive help in Nick Gates. He's a solid guard. They didn't accept the 5th-year option for Chase Young, so it's a bit concerning for Chase Young, but they didn't, that's the GM's fault or GM's problem, whatever. They agreed on not to do that, and they got better defensively in the draft. They got Forbes. They got a little bit of defensive help as well, our defensive line help. And then Sam Howell is the quarterback for the Washington Commanders. He's literally going to be a rookie this year. He played a couple of games last year, but this is going to be his legit first season as quarterback. He has legit players around him. Robinson, Gibson, Curtis Samuel, Scary Terry. And you have a decent offensive line. Not great, but, it's okay one. And then the defense on the other side of the ball is phenomenal. So, yeah. That's why I got them at number 8, because they have legit talent on both sides. Just that quarterback position. But for the Bears probably surprised. I love what they got. DJ Moore, Edmonds. DJ Moore is a legit receiver. Edmonds is a leader of a linebacker, run-stuffing guy. And then they got offensive line help for Justin Fields because he was getting murdered last year. He didn't even play that many games, to be honest, either. And they're still in the early stage of rebuilding, but they do have DJ Moore, Edmonds, Justin Fields, and all these other pieces on defense. So they're looking pretty good, but they are still pretty young, just like the Lions. And that's why I have the Lions ahead of them, because the Lions, to me, are just a step ahead of the Bears, because the Bears just started their rebound. And then the surprise right here is the Giants at number 10. Everybody probably has the Giants at number 7 or number 6 or something like that. I have them at number 10. I'm not a huge fan of the Giants. They have Waller. I love the trade, but the Raiders gave him up because they got, what's his name? They got Mayer. So, yeah. And then they got key pieces in the draft. Hyatt, Schmetz, and one more. There's another player, but I forgot who it was. My apologies. And then the negative is, can Danny Dimes do it? Can he perform on a high level? You could say last year he did, but I don't know. Saquon Barkley, is he even going to play? He didn't accept his franchise. He could sit out. I think that helps him even more if he sits out, because he's going to take 1 year off excuse me. He's gonna take 1 year off of his body. And yeah, Danny Dimes, I don't think he can win you the big games. So that's why I have the Giants at number 10. The roster is probably the best it has ever been for a while. But Danny Dimes, I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him. And that's really it. Those are my top 10 NFC teams. Do you guys agree with it? Who do you guys have that I don't have in my top 10? Who do I have too high or too low? Let me know in the comments. I love making these videos because I know it'll get people mad because you're gonna be hardcore fans. But to me, this one was making the NFC rankings is a little more difficult because they're a little weaker teams. Like you can see like holes in their teams and all that stuff. Where the AFC, it just comes down to talent, who's the it factor, and stuff like that. Like, so the AFC is gonna be a little bit funner, but the NFC was fun to make. So let me know in the comments if you agree with my top 10, and let me know who you have in your top 10. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.